Oscar, have you got a Mushu?
Yeah, I've got a little dragon. He normally, sort of pulls, crazy pranks on me. His name is Pete. Despise him.
They're trying to break us up.
Yeah.
They're trying to break up this podcast.
Yeah. I wish I knew more about Pete the Dragon to fulfill this bit. My name's Oscar.
My name's Carl.
And this is Who Would Watch This?
Crazy. I threw you a Milan and you went to Pete the Dragon.
Well, it's just a good well to go to. Sadly, I don't have a bucket to use for the well, but, it's a good well if I had a bucket.
Name 3 things you know about Pete the Dragon.
Ooh, it had a movie
Which
in
one?
2016.
Yeah? Who directed it?
I want to say Steven Spielberg or Steven Soderbergh or Steven...
It's David Lowery.
Oh, David Lynch, huh?
So, yeah.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This podcast. We watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about Mulan 2, which currently has a 5.6 on IMDb, a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 2.7 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
While preparing for their wedding, Shang and Mulan are suddenly sent off on a secret mission. Mushu starts to meddle, and a surprise attack by Mongolians doesn't help either.
Wow.
That feels like such a...
That's them
That's a user-created one,
things.
just like, that's kind of what happens. That's kind of what happens.
We were going through Binge the other night,
Yeah.
and my partner and I like to play like a guessing game of what the tagline is that Binge has put up, because sometimes they're from the film and other times it's just Binge has written them.
Binge is funny, though.
Yeah.
Binge is really funny. They're on the pulse.
Yeah, there's like a sense of like comedy to them, but we got to Wonder Woman 1984, and we were like, oh, there's so many good ones. And then its tagline was just expiring September 27th.
That's apt. That's very apt.
But that reminds me of what Binge is. Binge has the vaguest plot for Madame Web. After showing signs of clairvoyance, New York City paramedic Cassandra Webb must confront revelations about her past and protect 3 women from adversity.
Wow, that's not even the log line. That's just sort of all right, that's what we're trying to do. So let's try and piece it together and get a bit more of a going there.
Yeah. So, that's what this feels like. It was like Mulan and her husband or fiance will do things. Mongolians,
they're there. And there's this little red dragon who's just sprinkling through. Carl, before we even start to dissect this movie, should we go back to last week?
I would love to. Oh, to before we'd seen the movie and try to predict who we thought would watch it?
That's the gist.
Yeah,
that's the gist.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. Let's do that.
Good.
Oscar, Mulan 2.
Mulan
no
2.
Subtitle, just Mulan 2, it
Yep,
seems.
they're efficient.
Yep. Ever seen it?
No.
Neither.
Have you seen Mulan?
Yes.
Have you seen the new Mulan? Remember in COVID?
Yeah.
They were like, hey guys, we know times are tough and
Do
people
you
are
remember
dying.
Disney Plus Premium?
Disney
They
Plus.
were like, pay $30 to watch Mulan.
It was more. It was 35. I remember
Yeah,
it
was
being
expensive.
a lot.
They did that with Shang-Chi. Oh no, I think Shang-Chi ended up coming to... They did it with a few though.
Yeah.
Oh, Jungle Cruise was the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like you paid extra to get it?
Yeah. You had to
pay, yes, but you couldn't do like a Disney Plus extra. You couldn't like add an extra $20 to your subscription. No.
You had to pay the monthly subscription and then pay for the movie on top of it.
That was crazy.
And then I'm not even sure you got to own it.
No,
You know what I mean?
It was a 28-day thing.
Yeah, so it's just
And they were anal about it. They're like, if you have it on 2 screens, it's like $46.
Yeah, like it was crazy.
It's a shame. It's probably a good thing that they didn't do it for good movies. Otherwise, that might have taken off.
I remember during COVID, because it was like such like a mental health thing. I remember our household was like the new release ones, because if you also remember, HBO Max was like, we're exclusively releasing all Warner Brothers movies on our servers day and date with cinemas.
Yeah.
And because all the cinemas were closed here in Australia, it meant they were just all online for you to watch. So I remember our Friday nights were like, we're sitting down, we're ordering in food and cocktails, and we're watching Tom and Jerry. Like, it was those. I remember distinctly doing it for Jungle Cruise and for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because the James Gunn one came out during COVID. And Mulan, the live action one.
The live action one.
Yeah. Which I thought sucked all of the...
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I really like the original Mulan, like the cartoon.
Everyone likes Mulan.
Music's catchy.
Yeah.
I think there's great spectacle of animation. It has that famous shot where they come down the snowy mountain.
Looks great.
Looks
yeah.
incredible.
It was 1998, so they've just like done the Tarzan, that computer generated. It looks great. Looks
yeah,
really fun.
that nice blend of like they've been able to really like create
just
a real
sweeping
sense of scope.
shots. I feel like
Yeah. And then also on top of it, I know that there is like I can't comment on it because I don't know what the true story is or what the issues are that surround the legend of Mulan or the actual history. But I do think from just like a cartoon narrative perspective, like it's a really fun premise of like war and this person dressing up and holding a secret and being just as good as all the men. Like it feels.
I remember at the time, like I'm not at the time, I was 1, but I remember reading about all the critics being like, "That's a positive," because it's sort of rejection of the princess stuff.
Yeah,
and they were like, "No, look at this."
It feels very natural.
It does.
As well. And I mean, it's also a drag king.
Yeah.
So they're like vibes.
Yeah. They were like, in a couple of years, RuPaul's going to nail this.
Yes, that's right.
And we've captured the market on that.
And then I also remember, because I think we watched it in history.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, okay, go on.
I think so. I think we definitely watched it at school.
As like it's rainy weather, or this was what happened?
Maybe both. It's raining and this is the truth.
Public school?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
They showed us A Bug's Life. This is what happened in World War One.
I think this was the first time I watched it, was actually out of school.
Yeah.
But I remember also loving the violence in it. Like there was a real threat, because I remember the villain being like, do you remember them being like
that war zone? Like, I remember they go to the ash, the ash scene with everyone's
the ash scene.
Yeah.
There's also they're like, they kill everybody and they leave a messenger.
Yeah.
And there's 2 people and they like run away, and the guy's like, how many people does it take to deliver a message? And they're like, just one. Just raises the bow and arrow and it cuts away. And you're like, really good, dark and pending.
Yeah. You're terrified. You're terrified of the villain. It's a good way to do it.
So I'm all for Mulan.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the live action remake, which seemed to just there is like
it's funny that Disney, God, they're good at making money. They were like, all right, we've made one good product everyone likes. We're going to spend the first early part of the 2000s just doing shitty sequels to DVD, make a bunch of money, and then we're going to make a live action one. I mean, each one's going to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
God, they're good at making money.
They are. I think Mulan, because it doesn't have any of the music, is super.
That turned off so many people.
Self-serious.
Yeah.
Like it actually, it's weird too, because I've seen a version of Mulan, now that's like made by China, and they've put a lot of money into it. That I'm like, then what's the point of this Disney one?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Because it was during that time where China at the box office was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
For America. So they were like, let's cater. Do you remember when they had like the Iron Man 3 cut with like an extra 4 minutes with like a Chinese...
They walk around like a casino or something?
There's just like, and you're just like, why are you doing this?
Money.
Anyway, so love the original Mulan. Didn't care for the live action remake.
I mean, we've
never seen Mulan 2.
We've done Peter Pan. We're going to do a bunch of these.
Yeah, because we've got a few of these Disney sequels. So we're banking these for when we're away.
Yes.
And we have now done Peter Pan, Return to Neverland,
Lion King 2.
Yeah, and now we're doing Mulan 2.
Yes.
So I'm getting a good understanding of the Disney sequel.
Yes.
I assume it's going to be just as bad as the other 2.
No,
I think now that we've seen Peter Pan and Lion King 2, I think we now know the formula of a direct-to-DVD sequel, right? So it's going to be heightened versions of like the side people. You know, it was
they're like, these fun toys went off.
Yeah.
Let's just put them in. We're going to kind of repeat the similar story, I guess. And we're just going to they're not going to have an arc because like we finished that. So let's just not bother.
It's like Lion King was like, it's more Timon and Pumbaa. And the Peter Pan was like, it's more Captain Hook and Shmi. So I assume this is.
That was a good choice. A great choice. It's also definitely going to look like it's 90 minutes. It's definitely going to be 70 minutes.
Oh, it's going to be so short. Oh, yeah. It's going to be absolutely. That's the other thing is they've all got like 20 minutes of credits. They've always got like they've been able to coax into like 3 returning voice cast members, and everybody else hasn't returned. And then they also. I just think they're poorly paced.
Yeah.
Surely that's like the biggest thing I'm noticing is I'm like, there's clearly a lack of actual quality writing.
Yes, for 70 minutes, it should be quick. And they're just doing the same ones. Just follow the beats.
Yeah.
It is really crazy that you'd think that would just be, the pace should be there. It really isn't. And...
So I don't have high hopes for Mulan 2.
No.
Who would watch it? I think anyone that's given any of their time to any of these direct-to-DVD sequels. Like, that's all it is. It's babysitting for cheap.
Yeah, I guess if you watched Mulan and was like, man, I wish there was more... You know?
That's what they think is going to happen, right? It is crazy to me when they do make a sequel and they're like, people want more of this.
Yeah.
And then they don't do it. Like, they don't give you more of the thing you like.
Yes.
They're like, just give more of the thing you like.
They're on screen. That's what
Yeah.
you guys wanted, right? Just them sort of chatting and doing their thing.
Yeah.
So I'm keen for that, Carl.
Yeah. Oh, well. What can you do? Anyway.
Carl, Mulan 2. Holy hell. Could you believe this actually elevated this, the first one?
Oh, could I believe it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess if you want more
I mean,
Mushu-
hypothetically, could you believe that?
Yes, I
Okay,
could.
cool. Great. Well, you know.
Here we are.
Here we are, yeah. It hasn't happened,
It
but
is.
it's good that we have the power of
It
imagination.
is. We have the power of imagination
Yes.
to go, what if?
What if? What if?
Straight off the bat, it's a lot of Mushu.
Yeah.
This rocked me to my core. I was like, wow, that's so much Mushu. I'm going to get into details immediately because they were just the most interesting thing about it is,
Yeah.
okay, so Eddie Murphy hasn't returned as Mushu.
I thought he had for half the film, and then I was... all I've written is Eddie Murphy does this, Eddie Murphy does that. No, we're chatting with Mark Mosley, okay?
Yeah.
Mark Mosley is Eddie Murphy as Mushu.
Yeah, so his job in Hollywood is just to imitate Eddie Murphy's voice. Toy sales, rides,
Shrek video games, all that good stuff.
Just to do that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a white man. I don't know how. It was just crazy to me that I was like, the best person to imitate Eddie Murphy is like, he looks like your dad's cousin.
He's
like,
your
it looks
dad's imagination of what a dad is. You know,
Yeah.
he's he looks like John Lasseter.
Yeah.
He looks like Peter Griffin in real life. Essentially.
Oh, that's a great call.
Yeah.
It's Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the actual antithesis of what Homer Simpson is and does is making money off of being Eddie Murphy. And obviously Eddie Murphy's fine with it
Yeah.
because he's contracted into Eddie Murphy's contracts.
Yeah.
But it is odd.
He's got a weird tag team because there was like apparently like a lot of legal battles. The reason he couldn't come back was because Shrek 2 was blowing up, and then Mark's come over to do the far
Why
away
would
Idol.
Eddie come back for this
Far,
anyway?
Far Away Idol was done by Mark. Did you know that? I felt betrayed.
I did feel betrayed, especially because I think you can tell.
Oh, you think you can tell?
Yeah, I'm shocked you were like, I couldn't tell for half a film. Immediately I went, surely that's not Eddie.
I swear I looked up maybe Mulan 2 on Google and I saw Eddie Murphy's face in like the search results and I was like, well, then he's definitely here. I'm not gonna, again, this is how we do for the research, guys.
Google must have been like, Mulan 2, you must be looking for Axel F.
It's in cinemas now, guys. Go check it out. Ooh, no, I think it's on streaming.
straight to streaming, baby.
Do you think Eddie Murphy's the only actor to play a dragon and also marry a dragon?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, bit of a claim. It's no Oscar.
No,
it's a
no
claim.
Oscar. It's definitely, let's see if Benedict Cumberbatch ever marries a dragon in animation form
that's very
or in real life form.
Yeah, okay.
What other famous dragons are there that have a voice? I think it's just those two. I guess it's Smaug and
Mushu, yeah.
Mushu, yeah.
You know, two flips of the same coin. I guess,
Crazy, that's it.
yeah, for dragons.
What other dragons talk? Oh, the one in Aragon.
Oh, yeah, the one in
Who
Aragon.
voices the one in Aragon? Isn't that Tilda Swinton or someone of interest? Like Michelle Monaghan or somebody with a calming tone.
I'm not forgetting. Is there a dragon in Aragon? I remember
Yeah, they're all about dragons. You get the dragon egg.
I feel like we got the still of like the dragon being stone, just like looking and going, "You're gonna get the sword."
Oh, Rachel Weisz voices. Rachel Weisz is the voice of Sapphire the Dragon.
Gotcha.
In Aragon. Now, has Rachel Weisz ever married a dragon in the
we
rest
go.
of her filmography? We are putting Mulan on pause for investigative journalism coming at you live
Of course,
over the podcast.
I feel like factually, I don't want to be I don't want to be the audience needs to know if Eddie Murphy's the first person to do it, or maybe there's a second.
I will also accept if Daniel Craig has ever played a dragon, then that counts as because she's married to Daniel Craig.
Okay, huge. Are you saying Daniel Craig's a dragon?
Sorry, I hear it.
He's a diva. He's a diva on set.
Okay, I gotta tell you, Rachel Weisz has not done a lot of fantasy films.
Okay.
She's done Oz the Great and Powerful. Are there dragons in that? She did The Lovely Bones.
Is there a dragon in that?
No.
I guess a pedophile.
She did The Whistleblower. Do we think in The Whistleblower there's a dragon? Like if she came out being like, the government's hiding a dragon and I'm married to it.
That's the third act, I believe.
Definitely maybe. Fred Claus, Aragon. She marry a dragon pre-Aragon? Look, the vibe I'm getting is she didn't marry a dragon pre-Aragon. Oh! If she had come back for the Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Whoa, okay.
But she didn't.
Yeah,
but
damn.
she didn't.
Damn.
She's close.
She's close.
Congratulations, Rachel Weisz. You're as close to Eddie Murphy.
Oh my god, what a claim to fame, huh?
Wow, that's huge. That's a fun stat to have. They should put that in Eddie Murphy's trivia on IMDb.
I think so. It's like Tim Burton and who's the guy who directed Batman? The new one.
Matt Reeves.
Yeah, they both directed Batman and a Planet of the Apes film. You know, it's a bit fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of fun. Just a fun little fact.
It's fun when that happens.
It's fun when that happens.
It's really, really fun when that happens.
Yes.
Yeah, I get
Back to
that.
the fun of this film, Carl.
Okay, so anyway, we got a lot of Mushu. He's cocky as hell.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm the ultimate spirit. You little fuckers, you've got to blow straws into my bathtub and be bubbles. And all the spirits are upset.
Well, of course you would be. You're damned to this little hut, and now you got this cocky dragon, you know, calling the shots. I would want to kill this dragon.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Want to stomp on him.
Yeah.
Now, I can't remember in Mulan the ins and outs of the dragon.
The contract.
Yeah, so the dragon is just a...
Just the gong guy. Ring the gong.
And how does he become entwined with Mulan?
He's like, because the spirits are like, hey, you know, you need to give her some hand. She's going to go off to war.
Oh, right.
We can't leave, but this little dragon can, so you're going to try and help.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But he is a spirit.
He's kind of tied to the spirit world.
He's in the spirit world?
Yeah.
Well, he's got like
kind of avatar.
He's got like Aladdin power. He's got genie powers, though, because he can
yes.
conjure stuff.
It is so funny. The not the formula, but like they were like, all right, because Aladdin's before Mulan, right? They were like, right, we've got a big comedian. That's going to be all the films for the next 12 years. Yeah. It worked.
Yeah.
I think he's the most successful, right? Second,
Mushu.
I guess Shrek. I guess Donkey. Man, Eddie Murphy's nailing it when it comes to side characters.
And Axel F.
Yeah, Axel F.
Huh? Remember Axel F? This is sort of like the opening prologue of being like, Mushu is living the high life and he's cocky as hell.
Yeah.
And you go, that's a weird opening to set the tone of the movie. Mulan nowadays, I guess, just like teaches kids.
This is the saddest thing that happens when like TV shows keep going on or movies have another sequel, is seeing the characters on their adventure come back home. It's always miserable.
I think that's why you need to have... I don't enjoy when sequels do this where they're like, oh, look at their quiet life.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I just think when we were returning to them, they should be back to mid-mission.
Yeah.
So it just feels like there is... I think that's one of the best things about the Mission Impossible movies, is it's like very rarely is it like, look at his mundane life he's been reduced to. It makes me find the character sad.
I think so. And do you remember, I feel like in Fast and Furious, they always open with just like, man, aren't we living the high life?
Yeah,
we just fucked in this bed in Italy. And they kind of look around and go, I wish I was driving
They're always
right now.
racing, literally, to
Yeah.
get out of their mundane lives.
Yes.
It's the best thing about Indiana Jones. It's, he lives a mundane life when he's not doing that stuff, but we always go back to him in the middle of him doing an event. Like, he's finishing the climax to a movie we haven't seen.
This is a sad, like, I just think this is I think the reason why a lot of people, not big fans of Mulan 2, I think it's because it's essentially a bit of a broken, sad marriage.
It is.
And it hasn't even begun yet.
This is a marriage story for kids.
It's season 9 of The Office. You know, when they're like, what if Pam and Jim were sad and kind of a bit bitter they got married, you know?
What if Mulan, like, had a thing with the camera guy? And you're like, why is the camera guy in Mulan?
I hate that sequence. Like, guys, no, be serious. Does someone punch Pam or someone gets hit or something?
No, she doesn't get hit.
Yeah, I feel like somebody hits Pam and the camera guys.
They
like,
just her and Jim just have a bit of a falling out over a phone. She has an emotional moment, and he's just like,
"Hey guys, no, turn the cameras off."
Yeah, he's just like, "Let me comfort her."
Yeah,
which is funny because I think I found it recently. It was a concept by Mindy Kaling for way earlier in The Office for her to be like, wouldn't it be interesting if there was an ethical dilemma with the crew?
Is funny. That is cool.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
but they also, apparently they were just like, it's too early for us to do this, to break that illusion.
Yeah.
And then know that...
Constantly behind the screen.
Yeah, constantly. Because it'll just call attention to that, and then you'll never forget it.
Yeah.
So I think they left it too long to the point of just not bothering... I think they should... You know what they should have done in The Office? I think I've said this all the time. I've even said it before on the podcast. I don't care. But they should have done an episode of like the behind the scenes of how they made... of who the crew was behind the camera making The Office.
That's a really fun one. Because I feel like they do like a watch party at one point.
Yeah.
Near the end, I feel like.
I think
is quite
so.
Good.
Yeah. You know, I think that actually might be the concept for the reboot they're doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
think they're doing something weird with the reboot that has a bit more of a...
bit of a meta.
That sort of a meta spin to it. So we'll see how it goes.
Anyway, Mulan's in a bit of marriage, and it really feels like the film doesn't want to get going. I've never seen a film kind of go...
There's no call of adventure.
No call of adventure, no real arcs, no real...
Which is weird because, spoilers, Mushu's the one that's set up to have an arc.
Yeah.
And then they don't do it.
He's also not the villain, but I guess he's
He
the
is.
driving
He's the
force.
fucking
He's
villain.
the driving force of it.
Yeah.
And he's just sort of bitter. Anyway, the
It makes
Emperor...
him shitty. I'll tell you right now, I hate Mushu in this movie. He's an
Totally.
asshole and
Yeah.
he never atones and then he never learns.
No.
He should learn to like not be. Look, here's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just gonna bat
Yeah,
it. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
gonna bat it out of
it's
the park. The end of the movie, he's like, I guess I'm just going to be like working for you spirits now because Mulan's gotten married.
Yes.
And then the spirits are like, turns out you're going to be able to
There's
stay.
a legal contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen a film really start and end exact same position.
Because you reckon he would then be like, because they're about to punish him for
Yes.
him doing all the
you
stuff.
think he would learn, like, oh, you know what? I shouldn't abuse my power. I've come to learn it, and we can all be friends together. Nobody's like, I am gonna make you fuckers fucking work
He's
for
gonna
your
be, I'm gonna
goddamn
treat you like shit for the rest of your
1,000
eternity.
years. You fuckers are dead to me.
Yeah.
You made me inconvenience once. You're done. I will slaughter you. The ghost of Georgia K. You are nothing. You are nothing.
That's the thing. I'm just like, just learn. Nobody learns.
I can't believe because anyway. Mulan.
It's
and
also Mulan and her. Yeah, I know we're jumping around. Sorry, this episode doesn't have a lot of structure. The plot's very thin, but they end the way they began.
Yeah.
just happy and there.
I just think you should never get into a relationship if you go on an adventure because adventures are like crack to any relationship. You're like, wow, we've overcome a lot of this, and that's what makes a relationship. The second they go back to their boring life, go, we have not got much in common.
No.
I can't really just chill
There's
with you.
no
You
thrill.
have weird cleaning habits that I dislike, and that's enough to break this up.
He's also flat out just like, I thought you were a man.
Yeah.
For the most part of my love
Yeah.
for you.
And
And
supportive. He's bi. He's,
Yeah.
he's brave.
oh, I love it. I
Yeah.
wish they'd dive into it. I wish we could look at him and they're like, "Bye, King."
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, let's go
No,
for it.
they get monogamous real quickly.
Yeah.
The Emperor. The film. It really just goes.
Well, no, there's musical numbers that don't matter or progress. Okay, well, this is one of the things that threw me is there is a musical number here at the beginning with
Yep.
the kids. And then I think there's only another 2 musical numbers, and then there's no more musical numbers.
Yeah.
Why bother? Some of them are just reprises from the
They
other
are.
film.
They're just like a girl we're fighting for. Also, I'm a bit of old, so that's the song as well. This first song's pretty crazy. They're just like, man, you got to be strong, but also be weak.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You take that girls on board. You know, the girls are a bit confused. They're like, wow, you're such a hero, Mulan. Mulan's like. Guys, you know what? Just sort of once you're done, just you're not needed and go back to your boring life. It is a bit sad. The film kind of wakes up, and goes, "Oh, the emperor has a note, and you two have got to go to him, and you got to go to him, and we're gonna give you something to do. Don't you worry. Once you get there, we'll have something for you guys to do." And he gets there, goes, "Ooh. Could you drop off a parcel to me? That would be that's the movie we're doing. That's the movie.
I need gold
Yeah.
and cups and a clothes basket.
Yeah. Could you pop
And-
out and my 3 girls. Okay, I've got 3 girls here. They need to get married to. We're doing an arranged marriage, and you guys gotta transform. You guys are Ubering them over there.
It's essentially just being like they missed their bus.
Yeah.
Could you bring them?
What's the dynamic here? Because he's making his 3 girls.
Yeah.
The emperor marry Mongolia. It seems
Yeah,
like
they're trying
it's
to make
it's like
peace, right?
Yes.
So they're trying to
with
join
a
the-
different, not like the Hun, but it's something else.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell
and
you.
Is Mulan's? Are these Mulan's sisters?
No.
Right. Okay. So there's not a connection because Mulan's not a descendant of the emperor, right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
The emperor just last time was like, you nailed it because
Yeah.
you saved China. And now he's like, well, I guess you could just sort of do my sort of handy little work. The job is essentially, you guys need to bring an army to protect my girls. I'm going to bring them over there. And then Shang is like, hey, fuck that. I've got 3 fellas.
Yeah.
We need a small, nimble team. This is the most least nimble team. I know that's the bit.
Yeah.
I really dislike the second that these 3 showed up and the 3 princes showed up. Went, oh god, is this the bulk of the film?
Yeah.
It's Mushu and these 3.
It is, and it was. I was immediately like, "Yep, classic Disney formula."
Yeah.
Like I thought it was just going to be OTT Mushu, and then when they reintroduced the 3 guys from the original, I went, "Fucking hell,
Yeah.
this is going to be it." And I mean, these 3 hornbags are just...
They're the horniest guys in China, not the best soldiers. They're
need-
horny as hell.
They need to calm down.
The psychic is like, you guys are fucking sex pests. You guys can get fucked. And they're like, what are we cozy up to the princesses? Again, they've also got one thing in common. And they're like, well, that's enough. Do you like food? We all like food.
I know.
That's not enough to start a
Never
relationship.
join over that. It's like when you're on a first date and all you can talk about is the meal in front of you.
Yeah.
Give up. Okay? It's not happening. You're not getting a second date.
No, okay? Just call it. Because we've got there's the eat guy, he eats. We've got the fighter, he fights.
Yeah.
And then the unfunny guy, she laughs at him.
I hate Lee.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, I hate Lee. I know I just gave him shit.
Yeah.
I get the food guy. I get the food guy.
Those little tubby ones are just like, you know
No.
what? I do like eat. Honestly, bonding over a pie is pretty nice.
But if you're a foodie and you bond with another foodie,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by all means.
There's foodie and then there's gorging yourself. There's gorging yourself. Oh, I'm a foodie. Yeah. You've eaten 40 spring rolls in a minute. You threw them up in the air and ate them with your mouth. That's not a...
just think, you're on a first date. You can both be like, oh my God, how good's the pasta? Would you want to try mine? You can try some of mine. And that's great.
Yeah.
It's when they're just like, the pasta's tepid this evening. And you're like, okay, well, that's bad.
No.
This foodie, he slaps, he is me, and he's kind, okay?
Okay, he is kind, but also his food habits are like, listen, I'm going to grab a cart, put it into a trough, and then eat it. And she's like, damn, that's hot as hell.
That's
She's
what
into
works
food
is
plate.
she's got king.
Yeah.
And he serves.
Yeah.
So that's great, okay?
All right, cool. We've got the, I think it's Lucy Liu is married to the fighter guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
The short one.
The short one.
Yeah,
yep.
short king.
He beats the shit out of a guy, and she's like, damn, that's hot as hell. There's blood in your knuckles. Let's, this is hot as hell.
Yeah.
And that can sustain a relationship.
Now, and then we land on Lee.
Yeah.
Now, I think I not only hate Lee, because I think he just is, he's not only bad for humanity, but I think he's bad for Disney.
Yeah.
And my favorite princess is the one that he ends up with.
Okay.
So I thought she was downgrading herself to be at Lee. There's a part where she laughs at one of Lee's jokes, and I was like, don't do that.
She doesn't laugh at one of Lee's jokes. Lee does a pratfall, and she's like, you hurt yourself. And that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So that's ropey hair.
Yeah.
There's trapezoid hair. And then there's side pony hair.
Yeah. So and she's like the power one of the 3.
Yes.
So that's why I don't get why she would stoop so low as to be with Lee.
It's cruel. I think some of these shouldn't work.
I know.
Yeah.
I think what should have happened is this is the ending I think it should have been.
Okay.
The 2 other girls run off with the guys that are great.
Right for them.
And then she goes and marries and saves the kingdom. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Lee dies.
Yeah, Lee dies.
I'd be happy with that.
A horrid death.
Painfully so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him getting like 127 hours.
Yep.
But like he doesn't have the courage to cut off the arm.
No. Well, he gets halfway through and goes,
Yeah.
I can't. He drops the knife.
Yeah.
Drops the knife.
Danny Boyle goes to film it and he's just there hanging from a half-cut arm, having bled to death.
So Mushu, I guess the driving force is they go, right, you're going to go off. Mushu then learns, oh shit, if they get married, Mulan and Shang, then legally I'm not her ancestors get taken over and I'm out of a job. That's his driving forces. I need to break this up, Parent Trap style, which could be fun.
Could be.
Yeah.
If it didn't seem so mean.
Malicious.
And self-centered.
Yeah. And also be the entire movie. At least
so much of the movie.
Because they are just going from A to B in a literal sense.
Like no musical numbers.
Yeah.
And then the musical numbers they have aren't good or about anything or progress anything. And then there's no action.
I feel like there's no action. There's an hour before we get some action.
Yeah.
Most of it's chatting and camp.
And Mulan has action in it.
Yeah.
It has training, battles, action, big conflict, villain. I think that's the thing is Mushu is the villain here.
Yeah.
And yet
it's weird the emperor that they're selling the princesses to is pretty chill.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, yep, this is just how it works. It's very, I guess, not very thematic, but I guess what it would happen. I guess it's very peace treaty-esque.
Yeah.
It's not very cinematic, you know? There's nothing about arranged marriages that's like cinematic.
Yeah.
But why does he need 3 wives? That seems like a lot.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's almost like the dad disliked all of his daughters and the other dad hates all of his sons. And it's like, you got 3?
Yeah.
Put all 3 of them together.
This could work.
Because at the end when Milan's there, he's like, oh, thank God. Oh, one of you can marry Mulan. The other two, kill yourselves with Lee.
Here's a rusty knife. Go nuts.
Tinnitus was a real killer in whatever year it is.
I guess we're at like 45 minutes. Fine, Mushu.
Which means there's only 30 minutes left in the film.
They haven't done
The
anything.
movie's an hour 13
Or
long.
Mulan. I guess the arc of Mulan and Shang is kind of, it's like arranged marriages aren't good.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But then Mulan and Shang are also kind of going, is marriage good for us?
Yeah.
Which,
And they have this fight over a map.
yeah.
And I went, I've had this fight.
Yeah.
I was like, this is confronting. I don't like this at all.
What's the stakes of the map? Because I feel like they're...
It was just, he's like, let's follow the map. And she's like, let's wing it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, you guys are too different. And I was like,
Maybe they are a married couple. Maybe they're just like, wow, you guys are bickering pretty
that was
well.
the thing that I was like, I think it's either a sign that this is working, you know, or I was like, okay, you've got a good 5 years before this fight starts materializing over different things like, why didn't you wash the coffee mug? Like,
Oh, I would have loved just like a depressing... No adventure. They're just at their little house and they're just doing domestic chores and it's just a bit vile.
Yeah.
It's just a bit... It's
I would love
a
that.
bit tense.
I would love just the
90
entire
minutes of
marriage
tense.
story fight to just be done in a tent here.
I would like no marriage story fight, so no climax, just sort of that sort of
Oh,
bubbling
sizzling.
anger, sizzling anger.
Yeah.
You know, that's the vibe.
Yeah.
That's what Mulan 2 should have captured. Sadly, they've gone on an adventure. Very odd for Disney.
Yeah, should have almost been a version of Vince Vaughn's The Breakup. Big fan.
Oh, Vince? Yeah. Where's he at?
Sorry,
Where's Vince
he
been
was
at?
just on Hot Ones. He's got his new Apple TV show.
Okay, good for Vince. Good
Yeah.
for Vince. I like Vince. I've not seen him around though.
Yeah, I think he's just been doing some. He was doing a lot of like, I think it's Craig Zegger. He was doing like Brawl and Cell Block 66 and Dragged Across Concrete, and he was doing a lot of stuff with Mel
Wait,
Gibson.
He did that? So someone brawled him and he got dragged across concrete? That seems pretty vile.
Yeah, it's classic Vince. Look, let's just get to when they save all the plot for the back 20 minutes of the movie.
15 if that.
Here's the thing: all of the women, everybody in the movie is miserable because
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, you're gonna break up," and the three women are like, "Sorry, we caused your relationship to break up." And it's like, look, if they were gonna do it over a map, it's not your fault. It was just gonna happen. Then they get attacked.
Yes.
and then Shang, is it Shang?
Yeah.
Dies.
Yes.
and you go, oh, okay,
It's
so we're
pretty,
here.
and it's I guess because we're adults, so we know that probably it ain't gonna go.
He
on.
ain't dead.
The film.
I thought
the
maybe Mushu could have resurrected him. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if that's how he would atone by
Yes.
being like, I will go to the spirit world because I can. I wasn't sure. I don't know how magical
I reckon.
he
I
is.
imagine they pitched it like we can do a spirit world thing. They're like, is that another backdrop we haven't used from the first film? Get the fuck out of here.
You have to use this. You have to use this hanging trail, and that's it. This bridge has to be used.
I was watching this with my partner. Constantly goes, that's reused from the first. That's reused because she's watched it so many times. She was like, that scene, they've just copied and pasted the gang in there. I will say this rickety bridge is fun. I think Rickety Bridges had such a moment from 1995 to 2008. Kung Fu Panda, Emperor's New Groove,
Oh,
Shrek.
remember Horton Hears a Who's
Horton
whole
Hears a Who.
advertisement campaign was like, can he get across the bridge?
Of course, it was a conflict.
Yeah.
I don't see these kind of bridges anymore, and I think I don't know what was going on in the 90s and the 2000s. I think we should bring them back. They're a great plot point, but it's always fun. But then I feel like they might have done a lot with them.
Yeah,
you know.
you know?
The Kung Fu Panda one is quite a climax.
Kung Fu
really.
Panda one's
They made
great.
it cool. They made it cool.
Oh yeah, they were able to redo it. Indiana Jones, that's a big one.
Yeah, and yeah, Jones does do it well.
Yeah.
Man, these
I
rickety
love
bridges.
a rickety bridge.
I would love to walk across a rickety bridge.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, but this would be me the entire time. Don't look down.
Yeah.
Don't look down.
They always look down.
Yeah.
It's a
I
classic.
shouldn't have looked down.
I'd also like to cut a rickety bridge or run across a rickety bridge quite
Yeah,
fast.
same.
I'd like to do things with rickety bridges.
I would like to. Didn't one of the Fast movies use a rickety bridge where they used
They
the
did.
car?
They slingshotted the whole thing. All right, that's huge
God,
rickety
and
bridges.
that was real.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
this film. Anyway, so he's dead.
Yeah.
for like
Perished.
for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
I guess.
A horse saves him.
Oh, also during this time, Mulan found out it was Mushu. Mushu's actually not that empathetic about having ruined the relationship.
no, he's almost just sheepish and I got caught. Nuts.
Keeps on being like, but I'm happy. Why aren't you happy? And she's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm miserable now. And he's like, for fuck.
I will say though, he does do some psychological damage with puppets, and
he
I think
does.
that's actually quite a good thing.
He
to do.
also treats his one friend, which is a bug, like
Yeah.
really poorly
this
through the
bug
film.
doesn't get a lot of showtime. I remember the bug being a big part of the Mulan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Bug. I feel
like
like
the
they were
Bug.
a good pair. I think Mushu's taken over.
I thought the bug was too much of like a Pinocchio thing, so I wasn't.
Oh, Jiminy
fan of-
Cricket?
It was too Jiminy Crickety.
You thought it was too conscious heavy.
Yeah, I thought it was too conscious heavy, and it's like in that one. What's one where there's like a flea and they're friends with like a flea,
You know, I know exactly.
and it felt like that. I don't think that the sidekick should have a sidekick.
Yeah.
I think that Aladdin just has Genie. Genie then doesn't have.
Does Apu, the monkey, not count? I guess it's Aladdin's side.
That's Aladdin's sidekick.
Does Apu and the genie chat at all? I feel like they have a little bit of back and forth. They've also got the rug. There's a lot of side characters in that one, you know?
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's Aladdin.
Yeah. I guess
Aladdin knows what it's doing.
I guess it's crazy they would have had on a board just sort of like, all right, we need to get a big comedy star.
Yeah.
That's our, like, sort of our side kick, protagonist, sort of foil, whatever. And then they've got to have a wacky side character. And I guess they just had it on the board because the Bug's pretty lazy. But I fuck with the Bug. You know, I fuck with a Bug.
I would love no Mushu or Bug.
No Mushu or Bug for this movie.
For this film.
Okay. I mean, then you really are
No
left-
villain.
I gotta tell you then, it's just them going to the post. It's just them delivering 3 women.
I
And
think
some horny soldiers trying to get it on with them.
I think if it had just been a nice tale of A to B.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just a good, like almost a, you know.
I do like, I don't know, like in screenwriting, it's like, you gotta get from A to B and that's the story. It's like, okay, well, I'll just get them delivering a package. That's literal
right,
A to B, you know?
Yeah, that's all it needs to
Yeah.
be. It's like Castaway, huh? Beginning of the movie, you got a package. End of the
could be-
movie, he delivers the package.
It's like My Dinner with Andre, but like kind of on the road. What's that new one with Sean Penn and Dakota Johnson?
Daddy-o.
Yes. Is that when they're in a taxi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that one I saw.
Oh, is it good? You've nodded is a 5 out of 5.
I did not love it.
Yeah.
But also my audience was very negative against it. And I
How
didn't
so?
think-
Were they throwing
it was
tomatoes at it?
It was a Sydney Film Festival one, and I think either people weren't aware that it was going to be like a one location movie.
Yeah.
But it was the third act's so schmaltzy, like so just
Do they speed up?
the
I don't know how you raise the tension in it.
it does okay. Like I wish it was shot more like Lock. Did you ever see Tom Hardy's Lock where he's just on phone in a car?
No, I
And
haven't.
that's like, yeah, I know. There's just, I wish it was either directed better or the third act was written better, because there's just a part in the third act where they're all just like crying and it's like, haven't we had such a life-changing conversation? And I'm like, I don't believe that this
That's
has
pretty
happened.
bold to put that in the film.
Yeah. It's also, you have to suspend your disbelief because the natural talking points that come up just do feel unnatural. Like you just wouldn't be having this intimate a conversation with a taxi driver.
Yes.
But then I think it leads to some interesting conversations and character reveals. But then it just falls apart when they're like,
All right, that was $68. So
just
get out of my taxi.
The movie just is spoilers for Daddy-O, I guess. There's just like a part where I can't remember. It's like, I think at the beginning of the movie, it's like, oh, if you could change your name, like what would you be called? And then at the end of the movie, after they've like cried and hugged and they're
So you
parting
could
ways,
call that name?
he's then just like Marcus. I'd call myself Marcus.
What
And
film
you're
does
just
it? There's
like-
a famous movie that does that as well.
But it's that shit.
Yeah.
Like it happens like 3 times in a row at the end, and it feels so like
We're paying it off.
Oh my god! Like
Which
please,
no,
just
like-
be more subtle.
Yes.
Like
A no conversation goes like that.
Yeah.
Is that the issue? Like it feels like so like screen written.
Well,
in the sense of,
yeah,
like,
and
we're
it-
paying this off, which normally is a good thing.
and it feels like the screenwriter and the director has worked really hard to try and get to some natural stuff that it's like, I wish you just hadn't bothered to go this grand. Like I just remember the music swelling,
Yeah.
like it's out of another movie
Yeah.
that hasn't just had 2 characters talking, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this has not been earned. The acting's good though. Crazy we just got stuck on Daddy-O.
Oh,
Why
but
was that? Oh, because this could have been Daddy-O.
This could be in Daddy-O.
It could have been
It
Daddy-O.
could be in Daddy-esque,
Yeah.
yes. I want to see My Dinner with Andre. It's never on anything. That and Harold and Maude. I don't know why. Those two, but I want to watch those.
You can just watch the Community episode of My Dinner with Andre. You're fine.
I've seen that
I'm
so
not
many
even
times.
joking.
Richard A. Awadi directed that episode.
Did he?
Yeah, the
Good
Pulp
for
Fiction
him.
one. That's a
Yeah,
fun one.
Good for him. Good for him.
We're back on. Okay,
Well,
so
it's almost like there's nothing to talk about.
What do you mean, Carl?
He's dead, and then he's just not.
the horse is like
The horse is like, I think he's around here somewhere.
Let me get my hooves in the water. Let me just clump. Okay, clump.
And he just reaches out and he's like, "Oh, you found me." And I'm like, was this a meter down the road? Like, because we didn't see the horse be like, "I'm going to go."
It was a chasm. It was so high.
Why
How did
didn't
the horse trot down here?
Crazy Mulan was like, did that horse just get to be set? Like, the horse was like, "I'll go find him because
Yeah.
he smells alive to me."
Yeah, I've got the scent. You wouldn't believe it, the scent of horses. We're kind of like dogs, but on crack. Well, that's powerful. We can smell and trot.
So we get to the end, and Mulan's like, "Well, he's dead, so I'm just
Yeah.
going to offer myself up, and that's how we are going to be forever."
It's a bit of a sucky one for Mulan in the sense that just like I feel like the last one was so kind of empowering. This one's like, I'm a widow now, so I might as well I'm just done as a person.
I feel
I have
like
no value.
This could be the worst of the Disney sequels we've done because it is the one that's absolutely made me actively hate all the characters the most.
Right.
So like I've really, really come to dislike.
It really just like takes away. I feel like the other ones were like, let's just do their kids.
Yeah.
We'll just do their kids because then at least we can just do the same thing over again.
True. This is probably our most direct Disney sequel we've done.
Yeah.
Where they're like, nope, the leads are meant to be the leads of the first film. So
I just think it's unsatisfied because you're like, oh god, I didn't want to see these guys go on.
Let's breeze through.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't even come to it. There's no action sequence or anything.
Yeah, I just watched this. I really can't. The Emperor kind of goes in. The new Emperor they're selling the women to, and he's like, I've got my son. He has a finger trap. My partner was like, I remember this finger trap thing made me laugh so much, and it's on for. Do you remember the finger trap thing? No? Nope, me neither. And she was very stumped, like, oh my god, what?
We're just doing this?
She thought there was more to it. She was like, I remember that distinctly.
Yeah.
And it's just really not there. This, I really don't know. I feel like they rock up. Shang's like, I'm alive. Please don't do this. The Emperor's like, listen, like, I know this is a big moment, but like this is kind of like a peace treaty thing. Mushu redeems himself. Not really. He just kind of does the bare minimum.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm going to do the dragon thing. Did he do this in the last one? I feel like he did. Behind some palm fronds.
Yeah. Must have.
Palm
Oh, I
fronds.
think he does.
Yeah.
It's just he's like, I'm big spirit.
Yeah. It feels like all right, okay, let's see. Mulan and Shang, you're married. The three girls can get married to whoever they want, which is very progressive,
Yeah.
Gay marriage. But they pick three straight guys. So
Yeah. There you go.
Very close, but alas, no.
And then at the end, it's like Mushu's like, I'm packing up. I guess I'm going to be like...
The spirits are like rubbing their hands like,
they're like, we're gonna fucking
fuck
ruin
you. We're
you.
gonna fucking make you nothing.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fucking nothing.
And then the guy
man.
just comes in, he's like, we're joining spirits, I guess, and it solves everything. I do love it because flat out, the dragon, Mushu looks up at them and goes, but what does this mean? And they just explain the ending and they're like, great, and let's go.
It's funny as well because I feel like every character's like, can you do that? And they're like, hey, breaking the rules is what we do.
We've run out of money and the cartoonists are leaving. So, yep.
I will. It's such a Disney thing, but this one's definitely the worst. Of anytime there's a background character, they're standing damn still.
Yeah.
They're still. Carl, they kind of just go back. I've really never seen anyone return exactly to where they all were. Mushu's back on top. Mulan and Shang are...
Learn nothing. He's
nothing.
not nicer to anyone.
No. They're kind of... This marriage is not going to work. Do they get married?
Yeah. They're married now.
Yeah.
And I guess those three guys ended up with those three girls.
Yeah.
And that's all of the characters and plots. They all just... They just sort of cease to be.
We breezed over it. The parents get like, I don't know, maybe a minute of just sort of like...
They give out a necklace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a waste.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
It's funny the subtitle was just the yin yang sign. I've never seen that. Just
Yeah.
a symbol being it's like Prince, Good for them.
Yeah. Oscar, who would watch Mulan 2?
Okay, hear me out. So Toy Story did a lot with its, film. Now Toy Story 2 really, it dived off and did a lot more with it. So I think if you like Toy Story 2, if you like The Godfather Part 2, if you like, just any good sequel, this is better than all those. Okay? No, but seriously, I've never seen a sequel really do so much less.
Yeah.
It is upsetting. I think we're going down Letterboxd. No one likes this.
No.
No one likes this.
It's really weak.
Yeah. I feel like Peter Pan, Lion King, they had just a bit more going. This one's really sad.
Like the Peter Pan one was so much more outlandishly stupid and insulting that it almost made it more fun. And then the Lion King 2 seemed to be trying a little bit.
Yes.
And they used some leftover songs from the first one so that you were like, this isn't awful.
This isn't bad. Yeah.
This is really like
we didn't even chat with the songs. There's a mid-songs. I couldn't tell. They reuse the "Be a Man," don't they? No.
They do. Go We're Fighting For.
Yes.
And it's
really spluttering.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone really should be proud of it, but it's just sort of done.
It's
it made
getting
money.
to the point that it's like, oh, who would watch this? It's definitely for people who like children who only see colors.
No, yeah.
Like that's it. Like it's like you can't even. I would be bored if I was a child.
No, but I think you're just like, I don't think you have the concept. You're like, all right, I liked Mulan because I'm a child and that's a vibe, but it's also got some good story elements to it. And here's more of it.
Yeah.
Here's more of it, and that does me. That would be, as a child, that's enough.
Yeah.
Who would watch it right now? You guys should check these out. Not check these out. Put it in the background, and it's pretty incredible how little happens.
Yeah.
Or what they're willing to do. I'm kind of surprised.
The benchmark's obviously so low for a Disney sequel or just a straight to DVD sequel. They're really, you can see them straining to fill the time.
Yeah.
It's
I think
art in itself.
I think that's the impressive thing. They're like, we have got really 20 pages of script.
And it's like their B team. It's like with this whole other studio attempting to pull off something cheaper than ever before and yet fulfilling for its fan base.
Can I say, I think I know who would watch this. If you, like me, dislike the new reboots of all their live action stuff, guys, I'll be honest, there's worse. Check out these. And I don't want to give like grace to those because they're all pretty bad, but at least they're trying. They're just doing the same thing, but at least some artists and some graphic designers are doing some interesting stuff, you know? So yeah. For the people who do the visual effects of the new one, this is for them.
This is for if you.
Shout out to them.
If your faith in Disney is lost at the moment, go back.
Yeah,
and be like, oh, I should have lost it a while ago.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Nostalgia really is a powerful drug.
Yeah,
a powerful
the best drug of them all.
Yeah. Than coke, you know, guys.
Or just a simple head rush.
Yeah.
Just get up a little fast.
Stand up, spin around, and you're going to have a great time.
It's good. Get your bearings. Oscar, what are we reviewing next week? Or do we not know because we're overseas currently?
Yes, we are overseas. Carl, this is pretty crazy. We're pre-recording these. So
you wouldn't know unless we've said it earlier because we can't remember if we've specified.
And we're doing these all out of order. It's a bit of a nightmare, really. So,
speaking of which, if a listener would like to water my plants, I don't know
oh
what to do.
my God. They're dry as a bone. Shit, fuck.
This is a stress I'm having is I fear all my plants are going to die while I'm gone.
Can I say, this is now actually, guys, this is going to be a productive podcast episode. If you are leaving and you want your plants watered, what you can do, get a big jug of water, put them next to the plant. You want to get a bit of twine string, dip it in the water, then put the other side deep in the soil. This will slowly leach out the water for days. It'll keep your plants constantly watered.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, I don't need a listener to come and water the plants.
Yeah.
But if you can come and check the string hasn't, I don't know, congealed or dripped on the floor.
I gotta tell you, if this string falls out, gets loose, maybe mold will go there, you are fucked.
Yeah.
Also, quite frankly, I think I left the gas on, so I'm a bit more worried about that.
Okay, well we've got issues to atone for.
Like Mushu.
If you feel like helping us while we're on a holiday, email us at askWWTpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you very much for listening.